In 2011, the Deus Ex series returned triumphantly. The prequel, Human Revolution, earned well-deserved acclaim for its atmosphere, freedom of choice, and clever approach to gameplay. The sequel, Mankind Divided, was eagerly anticipated, but it garnered a more muted response. The main disappointment for many was its length. The game is noticeably shorter than its predecessor, seemingly breaking off mid-sentence. Despite this, however, Mankind Divided is far from a throwaway title. It remains a deep RPG with immersive sim elements, where every decision impacts the course of events, and the world itself is carefully crafted and believable. Future Prague is a living, breathing metropolis, filled with tension between ordinary people and the augmented. Protagonist Adam Jensen returns, and his story remains captivating. The game's varied playthroughs, detailed locations, visual style, and cyberpunk atmosphere make Mankind Divided a worthy sequel. Even after all these years, this game still feels fresh and definitely deserves a second chance. There have been many times in video game history where sequels have expanded on the original's ideas in a much deeper and more vibrant way. Titanfall 2 is one of the best examples of this approach. Respawn Entertainment took everything that worked in the first game, added what was missing, and ultimately created one of the most memorable shooters of recent years. The game's main selling point is its robust single-player campaign, something Blizzard promised in Overwatch 2, but ultimately failed to deliver. It also features a cohesive story, a charismatic AI companion, and superb direction. The story doesn't just move forward, it surprises. There are time jumps, large-scale battles within battle titans, and unexpected twists. The campaign feels like Call of Duty, polished to perfection, but with a distinct personality all its own. The multiplayer has also received significant improvements. It's faster, more dynamic, and deeper. After its release, the studio focused on Apex Legends, a battle royale game set in the same universe, but if rumors are to be believed, Respawn is preparing a return to its roots. The announcement of Titanfall 3 may be closer than we think. In 2017, Mass Effect Andromeda came under fire from everyone, from gamers to gaming publications. It was even dubbed the disappointment of the year. The reasons were issues with facial animation, technical bugs, and unrealistic expectations, given that the series had previously maintained a high standard. But if you put aside your emotions and return to the game later, it becomes clear it's not all that bad. Andromeda is a large, content-rich open-world sci-fi game where you can spend dozens of hours, especially if you enjoy side quests, exploring every corner of the map, and completing every possible activity. Yes, the plot is simpler than in the original trilogy, and the characters don't immediately grab your attention. But as you progress, the game opens up, and many aspects from shooting to customization are truly top-notch. Furthermore, BioWare has ironed out many technical issues over time, and the animations now look much better. Andromeda isn't perfect, but it definitely deserves a second chance, especially if you're craving big space adventures. Arcane Austin's 2017 game Prey is a true gift for fans of immersive sims, those games where freedom of action and atmosphere play as important a role as gunplay and explosions. The action takes place on the Talosai space station, drifting in orbit around the moon. Your goal is to survive, navigate the chaos, and, if possible, stop the uncontrolled spread of a mysterious alien lifeform, the Typhoons. The station's world is open to exploration, and every decision has consequences. Use a crowbar to open a vent, hack a terminal, or bypass the zero-gravity environment. The choice is always yours. You can use alien abilities to access destructive powers. But there's a catch. Automated security systems will begin to perceive you as a threat. Prey is a game in which every detail influences your playstyle. Vampyr takes us to 1918 London, a city gripped by the Spanish flu epidemic, darkness, and fear. You play as Jonathan Reed, a respected doctor who suddenly becomes what he's always considered a myth, a vampire. From this moment on, an internal struggle begins between his duty to heal and his thirst for blood. Reed must find a cure for the spreading contagion, while simultaneously concealing his true nature and trying to maintain his humanity. Every decision you make impacts the fate of a specific London district. Will you kill an innocent for power or risk your own life to curb hunger? The mechanics are built around moral choice, and this is what makes Vampyr special. The combat system, while not perfect, perfectly complements the oppressive atmosphere of hopelessness. Dark streets, eerie music, a gothic style, and tense dialogue immerse you in a world where there are no right decisions. This isn't just a game about vampires, it's a game about a man torn between the light and darkness within himself. This is an unusual action game with a distinct anime style, combining elements of a dynamic action film and a light slasher. Developed by Platinum Games, the project immediately stands out for its unconventional approach to combat. Astral Chain's main feature is its unique mechanic for controlling companions' legions. Unlike most similar systems, your ally isn't just a decorative addition, but a fully fledged combat unit that you control alongside the main character. This duo allows you to create complex combos, grabs, dodges, and even dual-wield attacks. Legions come in different types, from a swift beast to a mighty tank, and each is useful not only in battle, but also for exploring the world. The player will solve puzzles, patrol the streets of a futuristic metropolis, and literally feel like part of a cyber police squad. Compared to other action games, Astral Chain looks fresh and unusual, and that's precisely why it's worth remembering. Necromunda, Hired Gun is a fast-paced first-person shooter set in the grim and ruthless Warhammer 40,000 universe. This time, players will travel to Necromunda, a massive industrial hive planet where everyday life is steeped in violence and every corner is teeming with warring gangs. You play as a mercenary hired to assassinate a particularly dangerous target. However, things turn out to be far more complicated. Local factions launch a full-scale war, and you are forced into their bloody conflicts. Despite its modest budget and some rough edges, the game is captivating in its atmosphere. The gritty spirit of Warhammer is palpable in every shot and every corridor. Parkour is exquisitely crafted. The gunplay feels powerful and vibrant, and the planet's grim backdrop immerses you in the madness of an imperial hive. It's a shooter that's not afraid to be bold and a little wild, and that's what makes it memorable. And finally, we have an action RPG in which you hunt ghosts as two vibrant characters, each with their own story and motivations. Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden's plot focuses on moral choices, where every decision you make has a significant impact on the outcome. You play as Antoine and his love, Isolde, who, despite their affection for each other, find themselves on opposing sides in a battle. Antoine is a ghost hunter sworn to protect the living from evil, while Isolde is a witch whose life was cut short too soon. Torn between duty and love, he decides to bring her back to life, regardless of the consequences for those around her. In the game, you must choose: keep your oath or abandon love, for every action has its price. The combat system of Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden combines elements of acrobatics, magic, and action, while atmospheric locations and well-developed characters add depth to the game. Can you make the right choice in a world where love and duty go hand in hand with darkness and ghosts?